Hey folks, how's it going? Well, I'm starting to see a pattern. I'm starting to see a pattern here. It seems that I'm not able to communicate myself very well. When I make my videos, I try to address subject matter from different points and from different angles. Because I know that the audience out in TikTok world, or whoever actually sees this, and I'm hoping folks are sharing this, share it to other platforms. That helps a lot too. I didn't realize that. I'm always thinking just share within the TikTok world, but you can share it all over your social media. I'm only now associated with Facebook. I'm no longer have a presence on Instagram. All the followers on here, you guys know, I don't have any follow. Not that I don't have a following. It's just that I don't have a presence anymore. I deactivated, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Hadn't had Twitter in years. Even though I was on there, I was on there, but not anymore. Especially after dude bought it out. And any of them actually. Now that I think of it, I'm only on, of course, RedNote. I'm still on RedNote. I haven't gotten over there much lately. For the folks that actually went over to RedNote and still here on TikTok, I'm going to get back over there. It's just that I knew this was going to happen. I knew that. Or pardon me, I got to make my coffee. I knew that was going to happen. That this is going to be a long video, by the way. It's almost like a brain dump, okay? So for folks that are used to that kind of format, this is one of those. There are folks on here that like to have coffee with me in the morning, and so that's what this is about. But I knew that would happen, that I would get, when they started talking about taking away TikTok, remember how crazy it was? And then everybody started saying, well, meet me over there and meet me over there. And I fell into that trap too, because I didn't want to lose the followers that I have. I built this community up over, time is flying, y'all, like over a year and a half, almost 2 years now. So that was my biggest thing, for the folks that are starting out in this online kind of world. Hold on, brother. Hold on, brother. Hold on. You hear him carrying on? Hold on. He doesn't usually carry on like that. I think he knows the camera's on. Hold on, buddy. That when you start out, when you start out in this world, hold on, buddy. Hold on. When you start out in this world, excuse me when I walk away, I apologize. By the way, my gimbal is jacked up. It's not working properly. And you know what I'm going to end up having to do before TikTok goes away? Is getting one off of TikTok. And then, here you go. And then I'm going to take advantage of what TikTok offers here, because I do use the gimbal. I've been using the gimbal. The gimbal is the one that follows you, the camera that follows, the device that follows you around. I've been using that for years, before even TikTok came around, actually, now that I think of it. And I think I'm going to go ahead and invest in one, simply because I am an entrepreneur, so I can make a couple more coins on here. And not only would I have that, but I have this. And I don't even sell, I don't even pump it on here. This is a food scale. And I got it on TikTok. I've had that over a year. He's so finicky, y'all. Finicky. Just like a child. Just like a child. I have, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different varieties of cat food. And he's never satisfied. And treats. Maybe that's what he wants. You want a treat? You want to eat your treat first? Want the candy first, brother? That's always a possibility. So I'm going to do that. In fact, I may do that today. And so don't mind me if I get it, and don't mind me if I mention a couple times. I'm not going to be on here. I'm not like, you know, like these folks that come on here that are making money. They actually have a business. That's what their business is, to sell items. I don't have that kind of time. I don't have that kind of brain power. So I will mention it, and I will have links for you to go get it, you know. And I may demonstrate how it works and how effective it is, because it actually does give a little bit more, what's the word? Aesthetics. It does help actually, because you can have it set up in such a way that, for instance, when I use it, well, I use it in different ways, but one of the most, he just wants attention. One of the most effective ways to use is, like, for instance, when I'm sitting at a desk, sitting at my desk over here, and I have a close-up where I'm just kind of sitting back in the chair, and this is going to be a long one, y'all. So for my folks that enjoy morning coffee and just sitting around shooting the breeze, this whole video is for you. So it's kind of when you're sitting back, and it kind of just, it doesn't do this kind of action. It kind of just floats around, all right, and moves with you as you're talking. It's more natural. It's as though you as the viewer are sitting there. This is for content creators, by the way. It's as though the viewer is sitting there and kind of doing it with their head, doing this, maybe acknowledging you, you know, kind of, because we're not just standing like this listening to, you know, it's not static. So it is effective. And then for other activities, for instance, I've used it. I'll have, this is sitting on a tripod here, and I would have it sitting up, and you would see me walking out, for instance, onto the balcony and then coming back. They're pretty dynamic. I do think that they're effective. Anyway, so, I was talking about so for the followers, the folks that are starting out in content creation, you guys actually probably right now are realizing that it's hard to get traction on this platform, on TikTok. Very difficult, very difficult. And even now more so for folks. I hate to always go. You know why I have to always go here, folks? Because it's my reality. This is my reality. I speak my truth. Is it about race? Yeah, of course it is. On TikTok, like for instance, here's a perfect example. So yesterday I made that video about the passport, right? And I've made videos about passports and getting your passport quite a few times. For folks who follow me, you guys know. And I mean, for a long time, for over a year, I've been mentioning get your passport for all different kind of reasons. And then yesterday, like I said, one came across my For You page, and so I went in a rabbit hole. And let me tell y'all something. So the folks that don't think that this platform has any type of bias, let me give you that as an example, because you've seen the passport video from yesterday. If you haven't, go check it out. Folks have asked me about what I put in my coffee. We'll do a whole video about. I did one over a year and a half ago, but we'll do another one. Okay. That topic, when I was flipping through in the rabbit hole yesterday, I have to say it, y'all, so that folks that don't know, I'm just expressing, I'm living my reality, my truth. The folks that are non-melanated that are talking about that, 1 million views, tens of thousands of likes, tens of thousands. That means like pushing 20, 30, 40 likes, comments out the yin yang for non-melanated people that are speaking about the passport. Now, before anybody jumps in my comments, you guys have been real cool with that, so I'm appreciating that. When folks, because we're going to talk about that after I finish this topic here. When folks, now you see, look, I've given him 2 different types of food. He's got 3 types of food, but he just wants attention. I get it. It's cat energy in the morning for folks that don't own cats. They have cat energy, especially if they've slept all night. So then I look at the other passport videos by people of color, right? But not all of them. Some of them, good viewing. You know, some good engagement because they're good. But most, mine starting to get a little traction yesterday towards the afternoon, and I appreciate that. But some of the topics that I talk about get no traction. In fact, I could make a video about the same topic one day, and it gets traction, and then the same topic 2 days later, no traction. That's why I know they're messing with me. And in their days, where I'll get 100,000. I mean, it's just from the moment I put it up, from the moment I post it. And sometimes it depends on what time of day it is. I do understand that. Because a lot of these I'll do in the middle of the night, first thing in the morning, like this, first thing in the morning. And they just take off. And anyway, what I wanted to talk about was me making videos and trying to address because I know I'm not going to be able to satisfy everybody. And that, first of all, for the content creators that are coming into this, don't come into this arena, this space they call it, and think that people are not going to disagree with what you have to say. Yeah. So you can't have weak, thin skin, because people are going to comment and go all against everything, even though you thought that you had conceived an idea and thought that you would be able to articulate it in a way that doesn't offend, that doesn't hurt, doesn't hurt people's feelings or what. That's what we're going to address today. Be ready for that. Be ready for that, because there's so many types of folks, and you're putting it out there. Remember, stuff that goes on the internet stays on the internet. So, and it floats around. I'll put a video out, and I've got videos. I've got over 600 videos. Okay. And folks have been commenting on videos from last year. They still come up, and folks will come in and saying, "Why are you talking about that?" So this is what we're going to talk about from yesterday's video. About the passport. Excuse me. Look, I tried to address the passport thing with this in mind. This was what was on my mind. To get your passport, that's the title of the video. Get your passport. All right? The whole premise of the video was not to leave the country. So for folks that watched it and that were paying attention to what I was saying, okay? That was the theme. The theme was get your passport so that not to leave the country. That I mentioned that throughout because I know I'm talking to a quite diverse set of folks that have different economic situations. I do understand. You think I don't know that? So let me use some of the examples, because some folks probably saw them, dropping in my comments. I can't leave the country. I can't afford to leave the country. I'm taking care of my elderly family members. I addressed that in other videos about the passport. I understand. I told y'all, even myself, if my mom was still with us, I'm pointing over, she's up on the wall there. I was her caregiver for 35, her caregiver. That means I took care of her like she was a dependent for 35 years. So I understand, but I had my passport. The theme of the video was get your passport for being present here in the United States of America as an identification. That's the reason I made the video. Not to get it to then leave. I don't know how people miss that. So for folks to jump to my comment and almost like hating on me almost. And I can feel that energy. I can feel the energy from reading it, the comments. That's not what I was talking about. So listen to it again. Go back and listen. For those that didn't catch that, listen to it again. If I even did a demonstration with the papers. I even did that. Do you remember the demonstration with the papers? The family members talking to each other. You got your papers? You remember that part? That's why I made it. So that when you're walking about, going about your business, because any regime under a dictatorship, we got to go here. The guy with the little mustache on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. Remember, he was stopping everybody. Now, why was he stopping everybody? Because 99.9999999% of the people over there were people of European descent. So they were stopping everybody. Now here, I did stress, remember, listen to it again, I didn't even say anything about the color of your skin. I actually just said, because I'm thinking, right? I said, if you have a strong accent. So that covers everybody. Right? People that are melanated, people that are not melanated. That's how I framed it. Listen to it again, folks, that jumped up in my comments and saying, I can't afford to leave. And remember, I also said, and I don't think it was that video, but the video before that one, where I said I was hesitant to even come on here and even talk. If you look at my older videos from last year, I didn't mention one time, even though I was mentioning things about a passport, I never said one time that I had a second residence. Not once, purposely, because I said, folks, as a representative of yesterday's comments, I can't do what you do. I know you can't. That's not why I made the video. I made the video hopefully to save your ass when you're out and about. Because remember I mentioned, get either the passport or the passport card or get both. Because the card you can actually carry around in your wallet or in your purse or in your pocket. It's not so large and sticking out. Plus you don't generally want to, what's up, buddy? Come on, man. You got 1, 2, 3. So go back and listen to the video. That wasn't my point of the video was to just have it as identification. Have it as identification. Because I think that it's going to get to the point where if you don't have it, that's going to give them, because it's a dictatorship, it's going to give them the authority to detain you. Without cause. And I don't care what you look like. And I don't care how you talk. All right, enough of that. That's almost kind of like a rant, almost. But I'm appreciating the folks that do drop comments. Please don't stop that. If you have issues with what I'm saying, if you take offense, drop it in the comments. I will try to address it. If I don't address it to you directly in the comment section, I will most likely, now that I'm seeing this is kind of becoming a trend, which is good. This is good. It gives me something to talk about. We will address it in the next video. To kind of do it like that. Now, I can't do it for everything. There's some things that I come on here, that's what it is. I think that's what it is. That's what it is. It just hit me as I'm sitting here talking. I'm having issues. I'm not having issues. Folks are having issues because it seems that I'm like one of my followers on here, longtime follower. She says, whenever somebody mentions your name when they're talking to you, you know they're pissed off, right? Look, Jack. Look, Richard. So they were saying it seems like I'm talking down to them or talking down to folks. No, I'm not. No, I'm not like that. I am a protector of human beings. Okay? I'm that guy. I am an empath. Okay? So no, that's not what's happening. If you feel like that, don't feel like that. So now that I've told you that I'm an empath and I'm actually looking out for folks, if you're in my space and we're out and about, I'm looking out for you more. I'm looking more out for you than I am for myself. I'm one of those kind of guys. I am a protector. Like I said, I'm a caregiver, 35 years of that woman, my mother, of her life. So don't ever think that I'm talking down to you. Maybe it's because of the way I'm presenting. Sometimes it comes because I can be intimidating, and I do understand that. But I'm not that guy. So, keep it up though. Keep up, because that other folks may be thinking the same thing that you're thinking. And so that keeps the community thriving. And I think, well, it does. It helps the algorithm too. It helps it. That also helps pump it up to get it circulated too. So let's speak on that for a second. Because I don't ever do this. Y'all know me. I don't ever come on here and say, like, subscribe, comment, share. You very rare. I think I did it. I remember doing it overseas when I was mentioning for the folks to stay home. I actually purposely came on there, made my message, and then said, and knew that I was going to say, share it, like it, because I wanted the message to get around. And it was effective, by the way. I haven't given my people of color flowers. Folks, we did good. We generally kept our asses home. So, congratulations. I forgot that I didn't make a video about that. But there you go. We did a great job. Now, that being said, I did see one live on the 5th from Atlanta. So any of my Atlanteans on there, it was generally a young crowd, generally young. And when I say young, I want to say between, I'm not good at judging age, but let's say 20s to 30, that range. And they were going into some event, and it was a whole bunch. Now, that may have been okay, maybe because it was localized and they were in just this one area, just going to this particular inside. It was going in somewhere, so maybe that was okay. But that it troubled me for a second, and I said, well, looks like they're going to something that's pretty organized, like you have the admission ticket to get, But other than that, I didn't see us with any of those parades. I'm sorry. See, I did it. Look, I can only be truthful. I can only be myself. So some of those did look like parades, actually. They did. They did. Y'all know it did. Some of them. Not all of them. And then I saw a comment before I made this video. She says, we weren't smiling and having a good time. Really? That's not what I saw. Now, I didn't see every single one of them, obviously. But some of them look like y'all would like I said, look like y'all at Woodstock. In fact, one of them I saw, these were different lives that I was seeing. One of them I saw, it had two brothers, two black guys that were not participating. They were, okay, I don't want to say they weren't participating because they were there, but they were sitting down on the curb playing bongos, right? And you know, I just have to be me, y'all. I just have to be me. So they started accumulating a crowd. And the crowd was not black folk, because they weren't there, other than them two sitting on the ground playing. And then the other folks, you know, it's like they had the signs that it's like, maybe they're taking a break. See, and this is another thing. I'm not making fun of y'all. I've got kind of like crazy humor. It's kind of got like dark humor, kind of. So they were standing. They had their signs like this while they were, and they were, you know, kind of tapping their feet and doing, you know. Maybe they were taking a break. I don't know. So that's kind of what made me say these folks. I know they know that this is serious. I know they know. In fact, another comment. What? How can you, when they put my name in there, Solo, how can you say that we're not taking this serious? I know that you're taking it serious. I know. But it just didn't look like that to me. Let's put it like this. We, as black folk, when we're like, look at our protests from way back. Now I'm talking about nonviolent. All right, we're coming with a kind of a different energy, right? We're coming because we're pissed off, because we're not satisfied with what's going on with our community, and you can tell that's why do you think they spend millions and millions upon millions of dollars on all that military grade equipment? Did you see any of that on the 5th? Did you see any of that out there anywhere? And people drop my comments, tell me, did you see that? And that's why we told our people to stay home, because we know that that equipment is only there for us. So again, you keep dropping in my comments, that's fine. Keep dropping. But understand that we as black folk are coming from a whole different perspective. So we're going to be a little different when we're out there marching. Okay? Will it ever get to a point where we're out there? I don't think so. I do not think so. I really don't. Because folks are like, well, it's going to be a long summer. Yeah, it's going to be a long summer. But I'm still thinking that we're going to stay strong, because we now know the game. A lot of us already know the game, but more people are coming on board. More people, thank heavens, we got things like this platform where people are starting to learn about the history of us marching and what it did for us and how it can turn against us. So we're learning that. We know this now. We know how they're going to say things like Antifa was there. We know this. We know this when they get the history and have learned that things have kicked off because folks that don't look like us have come up into our marches that are peaceful, and they have kicked shit off, like started throwing bricks at shit that we never even touched. But they kick it off, and of course when they kick it off, then the folks with the military grade equipment turn on us. Then we now have to defend ourselves, and now it's out of hand, and now cars are upside down, now things are on fire. Now, see how it can escalate? All right, let's kill it there. I see we're about 30 minutes. That's perfect. So, salud for folks that join me. And I'll see you guys in another video. Take care of yourselves.